Well, I did it. It's the first time of the season for the year. I brought the lawnmower out and broke it on the first day. I noticed when I was mowing that the rear axle kind of was walking all over it, everywhere it wanted to go. So upon looking at it, I broke it. So come along, we're gonna pull that rear axle out and see just how bad the damage is. This has been a great mower. It's an old Toro Pro Line 118. I've had it for probably 4 years, give or take. And I've always been able to fix it, and I've always been able to get parts for it. So I've always ran it, but I don't know. She might be done after this one. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is jack up the mower and try to get at least one jack stand underneath it. So there we go. You can see I got her lifted up. But honestly, probably the most crucial part of this job is getting good tunes. So I got summer hits of the 90s blaring over here, and that just gets you in the right mindset to do the work. All right. My only complaint with this mower is there's really no good places to put jack stands. So we're just gonna use our best judgment and hope it works. All right, and we're gonna keep the jack close by just in case. Ordinarily, this is where I would hop on a creeper and peek around underneath and see what I can find, but all of my creepers are over at my aunt and uncle's house helping move stuff in their basement. They've got a really short ceiling, so they borrowed my creepers so they could move stuff around easier. So we'll just have to settle for sweeping the floor. All right, let's peek and see what we can find. Oh yeah, that looks real broke right there. This is one of those times where we're gonna look and see just how bad it is, and unfortunately, this one might not even be worth fixing. Oof. Oh, and look at that. This piece is broke too. Can you guys see that? This piece must have went up here. Not good. And I just saw a drip and it smells like gas. Sometimes you gotta know when to quit. So the first thing I want to do is try to pop this pin out. A little tricky when the axle's moving at the same time. Now that we got that roll pin out, the next thing I want to do is try to drop this. I want to try to drop all this steering and these connecting rods. Try to get them all out of the way. Hopefully this will all stay intact. Not looking so good, is it? There we go. Kind of trying to keep track of all the pieces and parts. I don't think that's gonna drop out of there super easy. But okay, next thing we're gonna do is we gotta pop this weight bracket off so I can get to this pivot bolt down here. Here's a mechanic's tip for you. Maybe I've said this before, maybe not, but if you're gonna be working on stuff like this, I like to get like long handled tools, and I've always got it. I've tried to get as long and as light as stuff as I can get. So like instead of wrestling 1/2-inch sockets and 1/2-inch ratchets, which trust me, when you're slinging wrenches for 10 hours or more a day, they get heavy. And so I switched to all 3/8. I mean, I bet I do 99% of everything with a 3/8 set. Except for small, obviously that's 1/4 inch. But even for big stuff, I have 3/8 sockets all the way up to 1 inch. And I do almost all my work with those. So make sure you gotta take care of yourself, because you only got one of you. Apparently this bolt thought I was kidding. Time to hit it with some ooga-doogas. Little rust there. For anybody wondering, the motorcycle in the background works real good. I've been riding it to work, just enjoying the nice weather. But all right, now that we got that plate out of the way, let's pop this out. We should be able to get a better look at what we're fighting. This apparently has been broken for a while. And it is not coming apart good. Here's a really cool tool. This is for grease zerks. It's got a wrench for taking grease zerks in and out. It's got a little thread chaser on this end, and an extractor or clean out tool, whatever you want to use it for. But it's really handy because it gets in here, and it's a quick way to take grease zerks out. All right. Got that guy out of there now. Turns out this is that bracket I thought that was broken. Way up at the top of the screen here. Turns out it just had a broken bolt. So I'm gonna work on getting this messed up bolt out of here, and then we should just be able to reuse that. So that was good news. She's in rough shape, guys. She's in rough shape. Here's the part that was broken off. And there's a bushing that was in here at one time, and judging by the rust and how it broke, this has been fixed at least once. And I don't know. I'm mulling it over on whether or not it's even worth fixing. I'm gonna keep tearing it apart, and I'm gonna clean these parts up, see if I can get a better look at it. But This bushing looks like it's been fused in there. Like they welded it without taking it apart, because the bushing is welded to the broken pipe that carries it. So I'm not going to be able to replace that. And I'd like to, but... And it looks like it was at one time... Yeah, there's another part that's missing, and I might have to do a little bit of looking, see if I can find some parts or cross-reference some bushings into this, but it's not looking good for the old Toro. Shoot. Well, it is not looking good right now for getting these parts. I'm gonna have to jump in the parts book. I'm pretty sure I have the parts book downloaded for this thing. I'm gonna have to dive in the parts book, see if I can't find some part numbers and cross it out. But right now, at the moment, it's not looking good. But weirdly enough, quick eBay search, and there's a guy selling a whole complete rear axle. So I guess if I can't come up with bushings and then weld that broken part back on, I guess I might go that route. But you know, I really hate doing things like this where I went through all the work of taking it apart and looking at it, but you know, sometimes a guy's just got to cut his losses, and I'm afraid this is one of those times. Alright, we gotta tighten these guys up here. Tighten these guys up here, then I think I'm gonna put that weight back on, so that way I can jack up from right here, and that will let me position this so I can slip this rear axle back together.
at his wedding. Went to see that leopard on his honeymoon. Named his kids Gunther, Gleed, and Rotten Blooded. That local tribute band called Hard of Hearing Tiger. They were pretty good. I went to a concert in their tour bus one time. Not a fancy one either. The bathroom was just a hole in the floor. I was doing my business, I hit a pothole, and I bounced down I-40 like a dadgum acorn. At least they stopped to pick me up. On the way home. Hills, bells, and shotgun shells, Carly. Look at the time. I got more kids, but you never let me get a word in the beach while and June, me and me, we're going to the dollar dumpster to load up on off-brand spam and Mexican turkey. Devil D and her triple D's. Out.
Good morning, the big shows on the radio. Hang on. All right, listen, you mug. Find the button your gas, eh? I'm trying to listen to these two clowns, John Boy and Billy, on the big show. Yeah, the big show. It's big, see? Bigger than big. It's enormous, see? Peter Dora.
And there you have it. A little preventative maintenance is sometimes all it takes to turn it into a brand new machine. Kidding, I wish. No, I was weighing all my options and I figured the best thing to do is just go ahead and get a new mower. So here we have it, new Toro My Ride Zero Turn. I figure if I can get as many years out of this one as I got out of my old Toro, it'll be a good investment for the long term. So thanks for watching. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, maybe you don't even care. But either way, it's fun for me. So stay tuned and hopefully I'll give a little review later about this mower and if it actually saves me any time or makes my life easier, and I'll let you know what I think. All right, we'll catch you guys later.